The system that makes you unstoppable. There's a type of person that makes others uncomfortable. Not because they're louder, not because they're smarter, not because they got lucky, but because they simply never stop. While everyone else is negotiating with themselves, they're already on month 3. While everyone else is finding reasons, they're finding ways. And you know what people say about them? Something's wrong with him. That's not healthy. He's obsessed. But here's the truth. They just know something you don't yet. Today I'm going to show you a principle that's over 1,000 years old, used by Japanese monks, confirmed by modern neuroscience. And once you understand it, you will never quit on the 3rd week again. But first, subscribe and tell me in the comments, what habit do you want to make unbreakable? You'll understand why that matters in a moment. Meet Daniel, 28 years old, smart, good career, ambitious. One problem, he was a professional starter. Gym, first 2 weeks, incredible. 3rd week, too tired after work. Reading, bought 4 books, read 11 pages total. Meditation, downloaded the app, opened it 3 times. The pattern was always identical. Monday, this week everything changes. Wednesday, just 1 skip won't hurt. Sunday, I'll definitely start again next week. Daniel thought the problem was motivation or willpower or finding the right system. He was wrong. The real problem was something he couldn't see. The architecture of his own brain. Stanford neuroscientists discovered something uncomfortable. Your brain sorts every commitment into one of 2 categories. Category 1, things that are flexible, negotiable, open for discussion, things that can be canceled if conditions aren't perfect. Category 2, things that simply happen. No discussion, no alternatives, no questions. Most people put their goals in category 1 without even realizing it. I'll try to meditate. I'm going to attempt going to the gym. I want to read more. Hear those words? Try, attempt, want. Every single one of those is a pass into category 1, and your brain knows, this can be canceled. Zen monks at Ihiji Temple in Japan have lived by a completely different principle for over 800 years. They call it continuous practice without gap. Since the 13th century, every single day, same time, no exceptions. Earthquake? Practice continues. Famine? Practice continues. War? Practice continues. Not because they have superhuman willpower, but because the question of whether to do it simply doesn't exist in their minds. Here's what changed everything for Daniel. He stopped setting goals. He started declaring identity. The difference is enormous. I want to meditate is a goal. You can fail it and move on. I am someone who meditates every morning is an identity. Breaking it means betraying yourself. He wrote by hand on paper, I meditate 20 minutes every day at 5:30 a.m., 90 consecutive days, starting today. Signed it, posted it publicly, said it out loud to 3 people he respected. His girlfriend said, "Are you serious right now?" His coworkers smirked. "We'll see." Perfect. Now he had fuel. Every morning when he wanted to stay in bed, he thought about every single face waiting for him to quit again. The public declaration made giving up more expensive than continuing. But social pressure was only half the equation. Daniel still had one invisible enemy draining him every single day. The question, when am I actually going to do this? Morning or evening? Before breakfast or after? Now or in an hour? Harvard research shows that every decision, even a tiny one, consumes the same mental resource you need for discipline. You are literally spending your willpower deciding when to be disciplined instead of just being disciplined. The solution is simple and ruthless. Fix time. Forever. Not usually in the morning. Not I try for 6 a.m., but 5:30. Every day. Done. Week 1 is war. Your body fights every morning. That's completely normal. You're breaking an old pattern and building a new one. it resists. Week 2. Your body starts waking up 1 minute before the alarm. By week 3, your feet touch the floor before your conscious mind even turns on. You can't argue with a constant. But Daniel found a new loophole. Time was fixed. But what he did, different every day. Today I'll meditate longer. Tomorrow I'll read instead. Maybe some push-ups after. The brain is a genius negotiator. Close one door, it finds another. This is exactly why monk practice isn't just fixed in time. It's identical in content, same sequence, same order, every single day. Daniel locked everything down completely. 20 push-ups, 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of reading, same order, same timer, every morning without variation. His friends called him robotic. His girlfriend said he was getting boring. They didn't understand that boring was exactly the point. Week 3, fool. His mind screamed for variety. This is stupid. You're not a machine. Change it up. Week 4, the voice got quieter. Week 6, or he was halfway through his push-ups before he even realized he'd started. MIT researchers who study behavioral automatization found that when you repeat an action in the same context for around 66 days, a deeper part of your brain takes over completely. You stop deciding to do it. You simply do it. Then day 38 arrived, the flu. Day 43, a work trip. Airport at 4 a.m. Meetings all day. No gym at the hotel. This is where everyone quits. This is where you quit before, because you tell yourself, if I can't do it perfectly, why do it at all? That thinking has destroyed more consistency than laziness ever could. A river never stops flowing. During a drought, it becomes a trickle, but it never stops. The moment it stops, it's no longer a river. It's just a memory of where water used to be. Your practice is the same. The moment you create a gap, you're no longer someone who practices, you're someone who used to practice. Daniel did push-ups in the airport bathroom. People stared. He meditated in the Uber. He read on the plane. Nothing was perfect. Everything maintained momentum. But there was still one final problem. Unexpected obstacles. Your kid gets sick. Your car breaks down. Your boss keeps you 3 hours late. These kill consistency because in that moment of chaos, exhausted, stressed, overwhelmed, you make the decision with zero mental energy left. And with zero mental energy, you always choose the easiest path. The obstacle wins every time, not because you're weak, but because you're making a new decision under pressure. Zen monasteries have operated for centuries without missing a single day. Through earthquakes, wars, floods. How? They don't make decisions when obstacles appear. The answer already exists. If the meditation hall floods, they move to the dining hall. If it's raining, they go to the courtyard. No discussion, no meeting. The bell rings. The response is automatic. Daniel wrote down every obstacle that had ever broken his consistency before and pre-solved every single one. Sick? 5 push-ups, 3 minutes of meditation, 1 paragraph of reading. Traveling? Hotel room floor, phone timer, Kindle app. Guests staying over? Bathroom? Silent. 5 a.m. Done before anyone wakes up. When X happens, I do Y. No thinking, no negotiating, just execution. A Yale behavioral psychologist who has spent 20 years studying decision-making found that when you pre-decide your actions, you remove decision fatigue from the critical moment entirely. Your willpower stays completely intact, not to decide, but to execute. Day 90. Daniel completed 90 consecutive days without a single gap, but something deeper had happened than just a streak. His co-workers told him he seemed different. Old friends said he was becoming intense. Someone actually told him his level of consistency wasn't normal, that healthy people need balance. His response, good. Because here's what nobody tells you about this level of discipline. When your consistency makes others uncomfortable, you're finally operating at the right level. Your existence becomes proof that everything they call impossible is actually just uncomfortable. That's why they'll call you obsessive. That's why they'll say you need to relax. They need you to slow down so they can feel better about standing still. But you're not doing this for them. You're doing it because you've discovered the real secret. Consistency isn't about doing something every day. It's about becoming someone who simply cannot do it any other way. When you combine public declaration, fixed time, identical sequence, and pre-solved obstacles, you're not building habits. You're rebuilding your identity. You stop being someone who tries. You become someone who simply is. And when that transformation is complete, people will look at you and think, how does he do that every single day? And the answer will be simple. He doesn't do it. He is it. If this changed how you think about discipline, subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss what's coming next. And tell me in the comments, what is your public declaration going to be? The consistency that scares others is the only consistency worth having. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.